stop him getting through there first. Yes, Jason O'Halloran can. O'Halloran, the Australian, who won here a couple of years ago on his way to runner-up place in the National Superstock Championship, grabs the advantage initially on the CBR Fireblade. Is that Buchan running wide? Someone went deep into the Montreal hairpin, cost himself 2 or 3 places. If that was Danny Buchan, at least he'll have a bit of work to do.
Well, it was Danny Buchan, and as you say, Jackie, he has got a bit of work to do. But a great launch by Jason O'Halloran on the Honda there, the SP, Fireblade SP, which looks great in that paint job. And Hudson Kenner there, you can see him up in there in 4th. So the best ride we've, best qualifying ride we've seen from him so far.
Adam Jenkinson dips underneath the leader as they go into the long left-hander there at Agostini's. And Jenkins, where'd I get that from? Jenkinson takes the lead from O'Halloran. Buchan will be the menacing figure, but look, as you pointed out, finally getting to grips on the BMW is for the reigning champion Hudson Kenner, looking strong. At the front then, a great start for Jenkinson. He's broken clear down the Bentley straight. Nobody's going to catch him from there. We're on the first lap of 14.
Yeah, and Adam Jenkinson, the man you're looking at in the lead, he rides obviously for the SBR team, and they've lost one of their main sponsors, so it's worth pointing out there as well. So the SBR team doing a great job there for him.
SBR being, of course, Steve Brogan Racing, a close friend of Jenkinson's, former rival who retired at the end of last year, a former National Superstock champion himself. So Jenkinson leads the way at the end of lap 1, round the long right-hander at Corum's, and then dips left at Murray's, what should really be the Jim Russell chicane, of course, and then charges on this long, steep uphill to complete the first lap. And as they cross the line, Jenkinson has the advantage. Danny Buchan in 2nd place, O'Halloran back to 3rd, Kenner in 4th ahead of Little Lee Jackson. Backlund, Josh Day, Victor Cox has made a tremendous start from 16th on the grid. He's 8th on the first lap ahead of Joshie Elliott as we watch a change at the front. And Danny Buchan, is he just going to master this race as he has done the last 2? Because he's already tried to dive to the front ahead of a resilient Adam Jenkinson.
Yeah, you're looking at Danny Buchan, the man in 2nd spot there, and he has been superb. 2 wins out of 2 races. He was fastest in every session, and now look at him just slipping effortlessly up the inside of Jenkinson there, and you know they're going to do well to hang on to him because he has been so quick all weekend. He had 0.3 on anyone in qualifying. So what could Jenkinson do? Can he keep with him, or is Buchan going to check out once again?
Danny Buchan turned 21 right at the end of April, the young man from Burnham on Crouch in Essex on the Qingdao Racing Kawasaki, the WK Kawasaki. Right behind him, Steve Brogan Racing's Adam Jenkinson. And then the familiar red and white of that Honda mounted Jason O'Halloran, the Australian from Wollongong, ahead of South Africa's Hudson Kenner. Kenner number 1 on the Trick Motors BMW, looking underneath the Honda as they drop in at the end of the Bentley straight and moves through into 3rd place.
Yeah, Kenner there, you can see the man we're looking at on the Trick Moto number 1 BMW. He was last year's champion on the Kawasaki, switched to BMW, and it has to be said, so far this year he has really struggled, but whatever he's done, they're just starting to get it working for him, and he's up into 3rd spot, and this is the first time we've seen him competing in the top 5 this year.
We're at Snetterton, where Hudson Kenner was the winner ahead of Adam Jenkinson and Little Lee Jackson last year. I say Little Lee Jackson, he's sprung about 3 inches. That's without wearing his stacked trainers as well. Danny Buchan leads the way then, 151.256, a new lap record already on the 2nd lap for the championship leader, cutting underneath the 2011 record held by the BMW of Richard Cooper.
Yeah, he took him to the BMW.
Oh, wow. Steady, boys. Someone went awfully deep. Was that Philip Backlund? Someone tore in. I think it was Backlund, number 3, the Swede, who outbraked himself there into the Montreal hairpin and had to sit himself up before he collided with someone in front.
So, Danny, look at that. Oh, someone's down. It's one of the WD-40 bikes.
And that's a faller at the hairpin, throws his head back in disgust. And this is what happened. Oh, he went down very early, but the bike rather unkindly barrel rolled itself into a mess. He's all right, jumps up, runs away shaking his head. Only pride damaged there. And that was the number 40 machine of Ben Young, the Canadian on the Team WD-40 Kawasaki.
And if you look at Danny Buchan now, he's pulled up a good 3/4 tenths. Obviously, he smashed the lap record on the last lap, and he just looking so comfortable in this Kawasaki. He just really has got the groove. He likes the team, and he's found something in a class that is normally so tight.
Yeah.
He's just been a little bit better.
And what I was finding entertaining is the massive frontal area he presents as he comes down the main straight. He's 6'3". He's as light as he can be, but he's still a big, strong lad. And the Kawasaki's able to carry him down the Bentley straight at prodigious speed, elbows out, and everything in the wind.
Yeah, he has. Although you can see that Jenkinson and Kenner in second and third. They certainly haven't let him go yet. They're still just fighting to hang in. As we have a little look at Buckland just going to go past O'Halloran.
Philip Backlund comes around the outside of the Honda with almost sublime ease there and drops through Richards ahead of him.
Sorry, Jack, is another smash to lap record there for Danny Buchan, a 50.6. So that's they've taken 0.8 of a second off the lap record so far already. That is incredible pace he's setting.
Jenkinson also under the old lap record with a 150.94, the first time the Cheshireman has gone under the 151 mark. We got another faller. Now there were two of the blue and white bikes fencing with one another as they chopped through the last turn earlier on. And I think, is that the number 20 bike? It's David Johnson. It's Dave Johnson after having a good time at the TT. That's unlucky then for the Australian on the PR Racing Kawasaki.
Let's keep a look at... Yeah, it looks like he's been clipped by someone else there. The other bike's going straight on. They've had a little coming together.
And he was involved in a scrap there with the similarly coloured number 10 machine of Joshie Elliott from Ballina-Mallard in Northern Ireland. As we check out back with the leaders, and we've got a problem for number 50, big problem for number 55, Ashley Beach from Oldham on the Jones Dorling Racing Kawasaki.
Well, that is definitely, you can see the smoke. There's oil coming out of that, I was going to say. So oil flags down, that bike could be leaking. Obviously, the guys, the organisers will be having a look at that. They're very, very well organised, these events. So at the moment, they're just warning it's probably just on the bike.
That was coming out of towards Agostini's out of Palmer, so hopefully Ashley got it over onto the grass soon enough. Adam Jenkinson, the landscape gardener from Knutsford in Cheshire, really clinging on to big Danny Buchan here. He's riding strongly. I'm
impressed. I'm really impressed. That's the man we're talking about, number 11. Adam Jenkinson, who rides for Steve Brogan's team. There you can see he's doing a great job. I thought that, to be honest, I thought that once Buchan was ahead, he'd be gone, but Jenkinson is really digging in. That is only 4/5/10. There's the oil flag and the yellow flag, so that is the section that we saw that rider, but everything seems to be okay. They're all through nice and clean, and actually that might have given Jenkinson just another chance to take a 10th. Someone else is down there. Is that
Joshie Elliott? Oh, I don't know. It could be.
It could be, or Joe Burns possibly.
It might be Joe Burns, number 53, who's gone down. It might be the tall, amiable Geordie boy who's gone down there. Let's see if we can tie out what's up. Oh dear, it is fast at that point. That might... would that be anything to do with the... No, that was the JG Speed Fit Kawasaki. Joe, that's a real shame. I'm just wondering if there might have been any oil down at that point. That was the entrance to Palmer's, of course, where the engine problem developed. Meanwhile, here we go as they tear out of Williams onto the Bentley Straight, and a proper fight between the Kawasaki's with the reigning champion Nair on his BMW clinging on behind them.
Well, I'm glad to see Hudson Kenner back in it as well, because it seemed weird having him, the champion, suddenly, not in the top 10. So it's nice to see that he's getting that BMW singing, although it is still two Kawasaki's out in front.
Lee Jackson has come through into 4th place. The teenager from Lincoln was looking forward to a good race here. He qualified in 4th place on the build-based BMW. He's running well in 4th place now. Behind him is the stylish Swede Backlund, then O'Halloran, and then this competition between number 2, Josh Day, and Joshie Elliott. Elliott with the European Superstock experience, of course, and that a very, very distinctive riding style with his head back. Is tucked right in behind Josh Day now as they come tanking up the main straight. Day on the B Wiser Kawasaki might just get overtaken by the blue and white number 10. Not quite.
He was a bit later on the brakes that day. He wasn't having any of it. And behind them, you got Daniel Johnson, then Egan, then Cox. So Cox as well, he had a real vibration problem in practice. He felt that he would have been on the case without that. They fixed it this morning, so he was hoping to have the race pace, but he's just not quite been together.
Well, he had it on the first lap change because he came through to 8th place on the first lap, and now perhaps the vibrations returned and he slipped back to 11th.
something, but look at this. You can see these guys.
Someone big off behind these two.
Oh, there's something down. There's got to be something down.
There must be. Look, and there's more people. There must be oil down there. James East is one of them, and those lads aren't very pleased because there's some expensive damage being done out there, and the Royal Air Force Reserve's bike is down as well.
It might.
I think they might have to stop this, James, because there's definitely a problem there.
I was just wondering whether they got... So, safety car is out. The safety car's come out. They're going to assess it there. It was just strange, you know...
Those were the lads that were in the points, those lads that were going down. I don't know whether Jess Traylor went down. He was running behind Cox in 12th. James East definitely went down. He was running in 13th. Okay. I don't know whether Freddie Foray in 14th was a victim.
Well, this is one of the advantages of our system. They can send out the safety car, so let's have a little look at what we're seeing. So he's gone down there front. You wouldn't normally... It's not a place you'd normally see someone quite... Someone's already down there as well. And we'd seen a crash there earlier by Burns. And you see another one in the background and a... Oh, and another, yes. I mean, it's...
oh, dear me, fellas, no, this is... We've got to stop this.
There's no doubt there is something on the track now.
So the pace car, if they think they can clear it up with the pace car out there, James, well, it gives Adam Jenkinson a sniff of the lead here.
It does. So, I mean, the safety car, what happens when the safety car's out, it'll just bring the pack up. It's going to allow the marshals to come out. Obviously, it didn't look like there was anything down. It looked like the bike was catching it, and it would look like it was just smoking and pulled aside. So they're going to have the chance now to assess the track, and they can do so whilst the race is still in progress, but no one can overtake. Everyone's got to stay behind the safety car, which is there, until the organisers feel that it's safe. The safety car will pull off, and the race will resume.
The fallers included your friend from Reading, Dan Johnson, James East. I think also the runner-up in the senior TT, Connor Cummins, also went down.
Well...
And I think there might have been AN other, but I don't know who the AN other was. At the moment, we don't know who the guys are who've gone down. I've figured out 3 of them.
But one of the things with that corner is it's not a corner you normally see a crash.
No.
It's just the nature of that type of corner there. You kind of come in, it doesn't... So to have 4 or 5 riders in a row, you know, definitely tells you there's a problem down there. As you can see some of the points, that is Connor Cummins there. So that is obviously very, very unfortunate. But
I'm glad everybody's in one piece, but the bikes certainly aren't. Connor Cummins there, the 6'6" Manxman, the 2-metre man as they call him, who had that splendid runner-up spot for Honda in the senior TT.
And you can see there the guys trying to look down and see it. It must be very faint if they can't be seeing it. Maybe it's further on up the track, because
there's Connor Cummins trying to just lamenting what's just happened. He was running in the points.
And from where they were going down, you've got to say it was from the peeling point to the apex, because of the nature of where they're going. They think they've got a line there. I was going to say it's from the peeling point to the apex, because you could just tell from where the bikes were coming in. It was a front end thing.
And that's looking back to the exit of the hairpin now, over the brow of the hill where those lads are.
So lap 7 of 14, Danny Buchan was leading, but Jenkinson was with him all the way till the safety car came out. Behind them was Kenner, then Jackson in 4th. He was having a good ride, wasn't he? Then Backlund, then O'Halloran.
Josh Elliott running 7th, Josh Day 8th, Victor Cox now 9th, James Egan out of the Triumph Triple Challenge last year. The South African is now running 10th. Remember, we've lost a bunch of riders here. Jess Traylor is still upright on bike number 8. And
he's got to get off the track as well, though.
Okay, that's not the same part of the track.
That's the left. He's already come out that left-hander, but he's just gone. As he's just gone out, that's the rider who will have gone round that left-hander, if you see what I mean. So obviously, if we said that bike, we were hoping it had been caught. They got a special under tray within the fairing that hopefully catches most of that oil, but there was obviously some on the line. Yeah, so the marshal, you can see he's very clearly...
You can see that motorcycle races take about as much notice as we do on the motorways when people are trying to kind of flag us around the place or slow us down.
And it can be very, very hard sometimes to spot something like that if it is a minor thing, and also if it's not a big direct leak, if it's more of a faint spray, So, but you can see now that the guys, they're putting the cement dust down, which will suck it up, and also, just as importantly, it shows the riders where it is. So, you know, these come from the outside and then all the way kind of into the apex. So it was that major bit where you're on the front brake, you're turning in, and that's why we were seeing him lose their front in an unusual way very early on. Unlucky, God, I'm so unlucky for some of those riders there.
So Danny Buchan, who started out life as a motocross racer as a kid until 2007, and then moved on to the Aprilia Super Teens, and he was already too big for the Aprilia Super Teens, so went on to, in 2009, to the Super Sport 400s on a ZXR 400 Kawasaki. He won every race and was on pole position in every race he contested in 2009. So he was a big talent from early on. Yeah. And his career just went a bit awry when he got tempted onto superbikes when he was doing well at the beginning of the season 2 years ago in Superstock, and it just turned out to be a bit too soon.
Yeah, sometimes as well, your best. This will be great for him. Stick this year, try and win this championship.
That's the plan.
Grow your confidence. Yeah. Leo, look,
and the red flag is, I thought the red flag might ultimately have to come out because of the fact that there's so much cleaning up involved. Hudson Kenner's not very impressed with that, I don't think, the reigning champion. I think possibly the red flag should have come out a bit sooner. So the boys have been cruising round. The red flag has finally come out, and I guess we'll have to have a rerun, a short, sharp rerun, a real club sprint race for these boys to sort out the final positions. Danny Buchan, Adam Jenkinson, Hudson Kenner then, we would assume, would be on the front row of the grid for the restart ahead of Lee Jackson, Philip Backlund and Jason O'Halloran.
What does that mean?
And part two, we are hearing, is going to be deferred until later in the afternoon, and so that we get back on to, we stick to a kind of schedule as already laid out for the afternoon's racing. So disappointment then, finally getting the Superstock Thousands on our live show, and they've suffered that problem with oil on the exit to the hairpin, and they are now going to return to the pits.
Because the other thing about that is obviously that could be happening, because you know, as soon as you've got a bike problem, you've got to get off the track, and you know, otherwise this is the result.